world champion. You're not going to say anything about me, but I will say it about you. I don't accept your wins in Japan, nor should I. Referee was wearing an earpiece. Never had a weigh-in, got no commission. Everybody that came out of Japan and came over to America has got a losing record. Why? Well, I'll tell you, because the fights over here are real, and they're fixed in Japan. And you got a whole lot of run and a whole lot of money doing fake fights. That pisses me off as a fan that bought those fights and then later found out that I was buying wrestling. You know how they pulled that over in Japan, don't you? Did I ever tell you about this? No. So Fedor would greatly be offended if I said he had a fake fight. I have said it about Crow Cop, who was offended. Fury couldn't believe I say it. Vandalay Silva couldn't even believe. That guy's crazy. The guy that's going to go over in professional wrestling will sit down in the same room as the guy who's going to put him over, and they'll work out the match. What they did in Japan, they only told one guy. So the guys that were going to win, your Crow Cops, your Vandalays, your Fedors, they were never in the room when the promoter, also known as the Yakuza, also known as the Japanese Mafia, walks in the room and tells the opponent when to go down. So when the guy goes down, the winner, Vandalay, Crow Cop, Fedor, just by example, really thinks they won. So they don't ever know the fix is in. And pretty soon they start to think they really can go beat 20-some guys in a row. And it also helps you on camera afterwards. Professional wrestlers are trained to do these things. They're showmen. Fighters aren't. So if you want a legitimate celebration afterwards to help keep the ruse up, so that your underground illegal gambling or whatever reason you'd fix a fight, which I'm sure it's just that very reason, so that can continue, you need it to look real. Well, the best way to make it look real is to have one of the principal participants responding to it as though it's real. So those guys, when they get their feelings hurt and got all upset with me, they didn't know. They don't know. No. Those fights are fixed. I'm not saying you're involved in a fixed fight. I'm not even saying you knew about it. In fact, I know you didn't. Because the guys who planned it know you're a dum-dum. You're a useful idiot, if you will. So they're going to let you go over and let you show your celebration and then line you up with another one and pay that guy to go down too. And that's how they did it in Pride. That is exactly how they did it. And as soon as I outed those guys, guys started coming out defending me. Gary Goodrich, Mark Coleman, Don Fry. Instantly. I had to say it first, and all those guys going, yeah,
Wise words from a wise man. That was Chael, Sonnen, Bad Guy Inc. audio. Shout out to Bad Guy Inc. Chael Sonnen was speaking on the alleged fixed Pride fights. I won't lie, man. I'm a bit hurt because I'm a huge fan of Pride, man. I've been watching the fights for a long time. In fact, that's how I got turned on to MMA aside from the UFC. I saw somebody talk about Pride and somebody from Pride, and then I started watching it, and I was very entertained, man. But what Chael Sonnen just said, along with the fact that people from Pride co-signed that it's true that the fights were fixed, that changes the dynamic of how you see guys like Mirko Crow Cobb, Fedor, so on and so forth, Vandalay Silva, right? Because the bulk of their careers was spent in Japan. The highest accomplishments they've ever achieved within the fight game, Japan. So if everything you've done in the fight game is based in a country that, it's based in an organization that is run by the Japanese Mafia, the Yakuza, and how they operate things, obviously you'd be touched if somebody said that, So I understand the totality of what he said, right? But let's base everything on reality, right? Those guys that were just mentioned, your Mirkos, your Fedors, your Vandalays, you can't deny it, man. Those guys can fight. They can fight. Yeah, they not right now. They're not at the best they've ever been. Due to age. But it's hard to argue, man. It's hard to argue with these kind of facts. It's hard to argue against them being great. Why? Just look at the best fights they've ever had, come win or loss. They've really performed. And not to mention, there is that one other element in fighting that we have to address, right? Along with the fact that Pride was run by the Yakuza, let's not forget that back then, steroids were in, baby. You don't go anywhere without that jungle juice, man. I mean, you all saw Evander Holyfield in his prime time, right? You really think all of that was natural? Come on, guys. Come on. Um, this is a very provocative statement by Chael Sonnen, man. I really like to know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.